About 20.
I wonder if I knew that.
Hit Control W.
That's what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So we are going to get started here. Thank you all for attending the SGA Senate session number 20 on March 8th of 2023. So to get started off, Isaiah, where are we in terms of roll call?
We have 13 out of 10 needed.
Perfect. So we can actually vote and do things. That's wonderful. So in terms of the agenda today, we have two voting items, the first of which is the RHA SGA merger amendment proposed by Nova. And then after that, we also have the new proposal from Alpha Epsilon Pi as after. So to get started, we are going to go into the RHA SGA merger. I didn't expect that. Nova, do you want to come up here real quick?
Yes, I will. No, you're good. Okay. Yeah. So this is pretty simple. I've been talking about this since like last semester. It's been something the exec board has been working on for a while. The idea is, to brief you guys, it's unifying the student advocacy positions. Last year, or last semester, if you were a student and you wanted to get something done, it was kind of ambiguous, depending on the nature of the issue, who you would go to. As a result of that, it left a lot of students confused and asking, like who does what. And a big problem on our side is that since the student advocacy position were all like disunited, it was hard to push for one thing and say we represent the whole student body. I know with RHA and within SGA, we've had problems of admin, like we tell them something and then something just kind of doesn't happen or it fizzles out because we're not unified. And so this is a smaller part of a larger effort to unify all those big student advocacy positions, in particular with RHA. I actually presented this to RHA at the last RHA meeting, and reception did seem pretty positive. The big deal about this, and you can read this, I openly invite you to read the amendment. It's pretty simple, even though it is a little long, is it defines what RHA is and like how it works, but it doesn't do anything to change how RHA actually does its daily functions. And I think that's very important because RHA is an incredibly useful asset and they have a lot of reach that some of it does overlap with SGA, but otherwise they have a lot of reach that we don't. So making sure we preserve RHA as it is has been a very important goal in all of this. They also have like a very important structure that allows every resident's voice to be heard. And I think preserving that, everyone in the executive board believes that preserving that is of the utmost importance. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I'll hear questions.
I just want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sign this.
Also, yeah, signed it.
Yes. Hi everyone. I'm currently the vice president of Residence Life. RHA president as a title has already been discontinued, but I guess will officially be discontinued upon the completion of this merger. The merger has been nothing but excellent for RHA in terms of the information we have gotten. Not only have we been able to more consistently meet with other people from different aspects of residence life, so whether that be with facilities, Chartwells, et cetera, the information that we have and that SGA has been in sync because, well, we are now a part of SGA. Before I found myself needing to try and integrate with SGA in very weird ways and whatnot, it just didn't make any sense. It didn't work just having an RHA senator be the bridge. Now RHA is baked into SGA and we are that one place to go to. RHA meeting attendance has been up. More people come to our meetings. I think last time we had upwards of 30. So it's been very good. Conversations during RHA have been good because of the topics we've been able to bring to the table, such as regarding gender inclusive housing or the CDA hiring process. We've been able to bring a lot more things to light that we just didn't know about before, not just talk about the washing machine, which I know it's still an issue, but we are moving past that being the only issue that RHA ever deals with. So no more of that. Anyway, I just want to say, just thank you to everyone who has been involved. And I just want to give a report to anyone who is not, constantly involved with RHA. It has been an excellent decision to undergo this merger. We have been it's been nothing but beneficial to us as an org. Yeah.
So with that, we're going to move into the 5-minute question and answer period.
I just see.
Do we have any immediate questions from anyone? Tessa?
So on in the text of the amendment, on page 3, there's a question mark left in the text. Can we expect that to be rectified before this?
If someone wants to introduce a friendly amendment to correct this small typo or like leftover remnant, I would be more than glad to make it a friendly amendment.
Do we have anyone who'd like to make such a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second. Bye-bye question mark.
Do we have any other questions? Online?
We have a small addition if you will allow me. RHA stands for Residence Hall Association. It'll be changing to Residence Hall Assembly. So it'll still keep the same acronym because I thought it would just be confusing not to, but it makes it more obvious that it's kind of going through a change.
We will, if it passes with RHA, which we're going to take another vote at the RHA meeting tomorrow. If it passes there, which I don't doubt it will, we will be officially changing the branding for RHA, at least the wording in the current RHA logo. Of course, with the contest underway with LEL's department, further branding changes will likely occur as a part of SGA as a whole. But yeah, we will take that.
Considering that there are no questions that I see, do I have a motion to move to discussion? AJ? Do I have a second? Second. Okay, cool. Can move into.
You have to leave.
No, we don't. Not for
Elliot.
I am so for this merger. It is about damn time that we started merging different organizations that should be part of SGA. And RHA is one of the largest organizations on campus that gets the most student input, in my opinion. And having that student base with us in SGA will probably be able to open up a lot more doors when it comes to speaking about not just residence hall issues, but campus issues in general. It will open a nice big door for us. So I'm all for this.
Isaiah?
Yeah, just to kind of echo on that, as Nova and I said, when we first started, all these constitution movements and changes, literally, this is the big idea. You all have already basically stated your approval of it before, so there's just a formal vote on it.
Cool. Are there any other points of discussion, comments, concerns, or do I have a motion to move the previous question? Tessa?
With the previous question.
Second.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Have any objections, just in case? Seeing none, you can go ahead and release the voting form. Cool. So there's no, I don't believe that there is any formal language on if the sponsors can actually vote or not, but historically they have abstained in such votes.
I will abstain.
So moving on, we're going back to the organizational proposal of Alpha. So last time, the largest concern about the student organization was the budget, and they were conditionally approved upon reviewing their actual budget to see, could we get a clearer vision of what they were actually wanting to go through in terms of cost. So we do have a new budget, if you'd like to quickly explain that.
Yeah, so the new budget, basically, we don't really need any money. Obviously, besides the whatever 120 for printing and 300 for general board meetings, we're not really looking for any funding for any sort of public events this time. That's represented, and I'm not sure it's percent. Yeah, there's not really a need to, but there is a spreadsheet that says two things. general board meetings 300, and wow. So that's about it as far as what the new budget looks like.
Okay. So we'll be moving into our normal 5-minute question and answer period. And if anyone wants to extend, if we have a lot of questions, we can do so with a motion. Go ahead, Naeem.
So the last Senate meeting wasn't recorded and quite a few of us just weren't here. What is this organization? I didn't know.
Yeah, sure. So Alpha Epsilon Pi is an international Jewish organization, fraternity. Basically, well, so there's we're looking to have our chapter we're already recognized by the international office. We're hoping to be recognized by IIT as a fraternity on IIT's campus.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Nova.
Yeah, so related to finances, I know you've simplified your budget a lot, which was a sore concern last time and was part of the conditional approval, as Joel stated. I do understand though that Greek houses, like, I know like you can't get funding for everything because of the rules of finance board, but there are some public events like Rush and whatnot that are available for public funding, and some Greek houses do take advantage of that. I know finance board's been a little bit weird about exactly what they'll approve, but they should, in theory, approve anything that's open to public events. So I wanted to know, how do you do you plan on still having those public events? And B, how do you plan on funding them if so?
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. And was our main consideration when we submitted the new budget, as you know. So as far as Rush events go, I've spoken to our Rush chair, and we don't really know what we're trying to do. I've spoken to our social board or committee or whatever, and we're not exactly sure what we have sort of general ideas of what we want to do. Obviously, just cultural events we're hoping that might be sponsored in the future, although again, we don't know what they are, what they look like, how much funding we need for that, right? And then as far as Rush goes, as I said, I've spoken to the Rush chair. We're planning on putting together some sort of idea of what we want Rush to look like for this coming semester. But as we don't really know what it's going to look like, there was not much that I could put in the document. As far as funding, we had a tentative sort of approach to Rush that we had outlined last semester. And while it mostly fell through as far as funding, it was all right. We were able to handle it. So I imagine this coming Rush season will be able to handle this, whether that's money from our dues that we'll put towards it, or however else we may sponsors from.
Are there any other questions? I'm going to go to Naeem.
So I know you did answer that dues will also help regarding just expenses and whatnot, but I guess, are you all looking to hopefully have any like, before you're able to garner members, get any funding for the events you'll have to get those members in the first place? So, or do you already have those interested parties?
Yeah, sure. So there are definitely interested parties. We've mostly reached out. So there are other Jewish organizations in the Chicago area that you can connect with. Like, for example, Metro Hello has a small population from IIT, which is where we got some of our original members. So a lot of the events we've gone to, not so these Rush events, but bring events, getting the members to bring in, have been hosted and therefore funded by organizations with that explicit purpose. What we're likely to do as far as funding, again, it's probably going to just be dues, or we're going to work in joint with other Jewish organizations throughout the city to hold events. Like there's a Chabad house. I'm not sure if you're familiar. It's a Jewish organization that's more than happy for us to fund or any sort of events that we might hold for means for free. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I was just.
So before we go on to the next question, we do have about 45 seconds left on the question time. Nova,
I'd like to make a motion to extend by 5 minutes.
do I have a second? Do I have any objections? Seeing none, I'm going to add that onto the clock real quick. Isaiah.
I just want to say quickly to go back to everything you said about rush funding. Rachel said in the chat online that she'll work with them individually to help them with rush funding. So that's something to be known. And secondly, too, after Nova and Joseph, when Mark put his hand up.
Gotcha. Nova.
So I did have two questions. Firstly, has anything else besides the budget changed since your last report? Like board, purpose, mission, events?
No, I mean, some of our private events have been rescheduled, but that's just, we haven't even published the calendar for the coming month yet, so.
Okay.
But our constitution and remains the same, all of our members remain the same, we've had no.
Cool. And then my second question was, with regards to your philanthropic ventures, which I don't think we really talked about much last time. Do you guys, so I know that each fraternity or Greek house has kind of a different policy. Do you guys plan on, like when you're gathering money, do you plan on giving that to the national AEPI, like philanthropic?
So there, I think I may have touched on this briefly last time, there are rules so we're required to have a philanthropic event just to even shoot for a charter.
Yeah.
As such, there are rules that change as, for example, which philanthropy we're trying to help fund. That changes each year. I think right now it's just, we're looking at the general philanthropy that is supported by AEPI, but I couldn't be too sure. If you'd like, I can check with the international office, get back with you.
Joseph.
So, from my understanding that even if you get approved here, you still will have to get approval from Greek Council to become an official chapter here. And after attending Greek Council meeting last week, I believe there was an idea floating around that perhaps you guys aren't following all the rules that Greek Council has set. Are you aware of this possibly? And if you are, are you going to address these issues so that you guys can get voted in by Greek Council?
So what I'll say as far as us not having followed rules for Greek Council so far is that we're not even recognized as a student organization yet, much less. So as far as what we've currently been doing is just trying to get off the ground. I'm not sure what sort of rules you're referring to. If you'd like, we can discuss that after the meeting. I can contact you. But if we, as we're going to attempt to be recognized by Greek Council as a campus, we will of course have to rectify things. The process has been a bit murky. I've spoken with the assistant director for campus life, and the process, it seems, has been a bit well, it's not well established from what he told me. So as far as what rules we're following, the Greek Council set forth, I'll admit we're not really that familiar.
Just to follow up on that really quick. I don't know specifically. I just attended the meeting. It mentioned that maybe you guys aren't completely in accordance, but assuming you can address those issues, are you confident that you can get a Greek Council approval? And
Can I interject? I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to organizations, and you guys should all be, and I'm not saying you shouldn't answer this question, but I just want to, may not want to answer the question after I talk, but you maybe do. So SGA has rules for all organizations, right? And what the criteria is to become recognized as an organization. And you all as a body use that criteria specifically to decide whether or not the organization should become an organization. So I just want to be careful, because the fact that the Greek Council recognizes them or not is actually not relevant to this situation. So I just, and I don't mind him answering your question if he wants to, and if you really want to know the answer, but it shouldn't really impact your vote on whether or not they should become a member for, because that's not part of the criteria for all organizations.
yeah, no, I mean, I was more asking it just to be mindful so that, they are prepared once we do approve them, that, they're prepared for the next step.
Yeah, so I actually have spoken with the assistant director about this. before. Right now, we're just setting our sights on being a recognized student org on campus before we're even considering the whole Greek council thing. That's a whole nother, whatever metaphor you'd like to use.
All right.
Can of worms.
Well, if
And I'm not-
I can talk to them for you. I can talk out to you after the meeting. If you guys get approved, I can find out what kind of rules that they were talking about.
And I'm going to cut off that particular question there. We are currently at a minute left, but I do see that we have at least one question left. We have two questions left, sorry. Do I have a motion to extend? AJ,
Motion to extend,
by how long?
like 5 minutes.
By 5 minutes? Second. Do I have any objections? Okay. Add that back.
5 minutes.
Cool. So I believe Amar was first before you, Kira. So. Mark?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my question was, you guys are getting rechartered at IIT, correct? Because you guys did have a position here on campus and the whole history regarding all of that. I just wanted to know because you kept saying you're beginning a charter, but you're actually getting rechartered here after sort of existing already and then being shut down.
Yes.
What's your question
Are they
there?
getting chartered or chartered? Is the question. Are they getting rechartered or chartered? Is the question.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are being rechartered, correct? Which means there's sort of different hoops that you have to jump through because you guys had already been established before. But for you to be reestablished, you have to prove different things that like you guys would proceed differently than the past.
Amar, your effective question is, are they being rechartered or chartered effectively? Yes?
Correct.
Okay, so the answer to that is kind of interesting, something that we actually had to discuss with our international office. So our chapter is identified as a different chapter than the original chapter, which was here. I believe the original chapter was a Metro chapter that was partnered with the chapter at UChicago. IIT fell off, being banned from campus, leaving UChicago as the only remaining part of the original, fraternity or whatever chapter that you're referring to. So we are actually getting chartered as a separate chapter of the fraternity, not rechartered. So we're following. So we're not having to go through any different hoops than any other person or fraternity in our place would be done. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
And then Kira.
Hi, so I had a couple of questions. The first one is according to like your nationals, what are you required as a chapter to be a part of on campus? Whether that's like IFC, Greek Council, like that type of thing, or just general body, or if there's like a specific cultural other thing that like organization that so I know that like with ASA, we're required to be a part of Pan-Hellenic, but IIT doesn't have a Pan-Hellenic society or a part of Greek Council. So I was just wondering if there was like any clarification on like what overseeing body, if you have to be a part of one.
Okay, so due to our unique, we're also, just because of the setup of Chicago, we're also considered a Metro chapter. As of such, our international office does not, or national, whatever you want to call it, they don't actually require us to be part of any of the specific schools organizations. But that's something sort of unique to our position. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Then I believe you have a question.
How many members of special members?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, sure. So there are, as far as members on IIT's campus, I know that there are at least 7, which is what we were required to have. I mean, just to get started. As far as I'm aware, I think there's a total of 11 potentially, depending on, and then prospective members might bring that up to 15. We're currently discussing financial issues that we're currently dealing with, but other than that, it would be 15. Is that
Are there any other questions? Online? AJ.
So I was looking through some of your list and I'm aware that there are some of the people who are going to be graduating. So are you counting those people
far as you're asking
Interested students.
in terms of students for this coming year. I was counting them within the numbers of like 15 that I gave you,
Okay.
which is speculative, of course. But we do intend I think we're recruiting. So we only have one member, David, who is leaving this coming semester for sure. Graduating. So, I mean, your question is, are we counting him as a member for next year or?
Yes.
No, not for next year, because he's graduating.
So we have about 20 seconds left. Does anyone have any urgent questions? Is there a second? Cool. Do we have any objections? Seeing none, we're going to be moving into discussion if you would mind.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right.
We're about to.
Okay, so we're gonna get started with discussion now. Does anyone have any points of discussion, comments, concerns, anything like that they want to talk about? Naeem?
Okay, I guess just something, and this doesn't feel right to ask, but what, does anyone know exactly, because I'm not sure if what I know is a rumor or what, but exactly what happened to the previous iteration of this chapter, and is that relevant now or
I
not?
don't think it's relevant. I would say, here's the reason, well, one of the reasons why. I mean, I was here when they were here, but I've been here 22 years, so
Okay.
there's a lot that has, right? I don't know, when you start when you're 9, they're like, a lot can happen. But, they left early 2000s. We only are required to keep records for 7 years, and way more than 7 years. And so, right, that they've left, I think that would go away. Like, I don't think that's a relevant issue at all. All the players are not, they're not currently enrolled. I don't know of any who are even currently active with the university. I don't think there's any negative anything that has any negative residual from the chapter's presence in the past. So I really would advocate that's just really treat them like it's a brand new entity, what it can provide now and who players are and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Nova?
So I have two concerns. One, their budget, in the sense that they're only requesting the minimum. One of the big things we are supposed to do with finance, or like handling finances now when we approve student orgs, is we're supposed to give these under decent scrutiny. And I think the fact that when presented with the fact that their previous budget was just completely whack, it just seems like they didn't put a lot of effort in this new budget. And I don't think, when I asked about Rush, they just kind of brushed off as like, we'll pay for it just by ourselves. But even, especially as a new org, I worry about that. And I just feel like they kind of brushed off the whole finance thing. My second concern, which I will not, I want to first just say that I still hold by what I said previously. However, just from a factual standpoint, their national philanthropy, which they did confirm that money will go to, does support an organization which is paid for by the Israeli State Ministry for Intelligence. That is all.
Here?
Just in response to Nova's 2 points. So spring rush is over for the semester, so everyone who's in Greek life be like not thinking about rush in their budgets. I know we're not really thinking about this rush, but like next rush, people are planning. I don't think they're at a point in being an official Greek house to even consider like joining the formal rush. So I don't know if that would play into, or if they've talked to other Greek houses to look at their budgets for comparison, because they're still like new. So I think that's a bit harsh on criticism in regards to their budget, especially since they did talk about how they have outside partnerships who are willing to fund. So I don't know if that's really a big point of contention. The second point with philanthropy, a lot of chapters, at least of national fraternities and sororities, have the ability to partner with local philanthropies. Like we partnered with Special Olympics and did the Fuller Fund. So it's not necessarily these group of 15 people are donating to the Israeli Intelligence Association.
Nova?
Just as to reply, the clarifying question I asked while they were up there, what the intent was to find out if they were going to donate to different philanthropies, because some houses do donate to their own separate from their national. I asked, do they donate to their national? And they confirmed they do. And the national does give money directly to that org.
Hey,
So-
Nova. So sorry if I can just interject. I think they probably also do not know that they can donate to another philanthropy right now. So they're just, because they're getting their feet wet, looking to do what's kind of easiest right now. But I think if that's a concern, that's something that you guys can say, hey, we would appreciate if you donated to a local philanthropy instead.
All right. So we have about 15-ish seconds left on discussion, but I do believe that we have other points. Do I have a motion to extend? If so, by how long? Nova,
So move by 5 minutes.
all right, second? Do I have any objections?
AJ seconded.
There were multiple seconds. Cool. Restarting the clock. Derek, go ahead.
I just had a question. Was there a new budget that I could look at, or is it just $300 and $320?
It's just $300 and 120. It's the default amount that every student organization has used, which is why I didn't feel like it was necessary to send out a budget.
That's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to.
Yeah. And then we also have a comment online, I believe.
Yeah, just going back to Noah's point about Rush from Rachel, she said, I think if they are approved, kind of similar to what Kiwi said, if they are approved, they'll have a better understanding about the Rush budget, but we also commend them for not asking for funds just yet because they're just our news organization. But then I have a personal comment.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say too, back to with Greek Council and them apparently breaking rules. I think either you, Joseph, can handle that. We also do have Zion, who is on Greek Council and is the senator for that. So I think it would be, it'd be better if you worked with him as well to figure out specifically what it was.
Yeah, no, I believe I recall that they said there was, I don't know if it was breaking the rules or if they needed to make a change, if they would approve them. I don't want to spread something that's like not true, but I believe that's what I remembered hearing. I will definitely clarify with them exactly what's the status for AEPI. But you know, I can also work with them if there is actually a problem.
Yeah.
And try to create a means of communication between them and Greek Council.
Are there any other points of discussion, comments, concerns? Naeem.
Okay, so regarding the budget thing, I mean, I did ask about that specifically to kind of see, you know, well, where's this magic money going to come from that the org's going to use to sustain themselves? It was, I mean, I understand fundraising efforts can certainly be a great way to fund a Greek org. It is certainly possible, definitely doable. However, I guess if we just had a better idea of what structure was going to be for their money. However, we're not entitled to that if they're not going to use the SAF to fund their operations and outside of any sort of rule or regulation that the OCL requires that Greek orgs have, we're not necessarily privy to that money financial usage. So I just wanted to explain why I asked what I did.
Are there any other comments, concerns, points of discussion? If not, do I have a motion to move the previous question?
Move the previous question.
Do I have a second?
I object.
Okay.
I'd like to present a motion to table instead.
All right, we have a motion to table instead. Do I have a second? All right,
I'll second that.
do we have any objections to that motion? Alejandro? Are you objecting to that motion of tabling?
I would like to hold a vote then
Okay, cool.
to sustain the motion.
I'd like to maybe understand where the
So, Nova, if you'd like to explain your objection to move the previous question, and then
My motion.
Alejandro, if you have some comments you want to say as well.
Yeah, so I'm pushing the motion to table because I think there are enough concerns that were both shared and not shared today that I think we should further consider, including the budget including the philanthropy and including other things which have not been stated today. I think all of those warrant a tabling until a further meeting.
Cool. Alejandro?
I was gonna say, I think that pretty much, I think Noah has a good point, but I think most of what everything has been said, that we talked a little bit already about how the budget could be a little bit flexible here and there could be some justification and how we were doing it. And some of the other things we were talking about, I think are also things that could change up live, but I think most of the important points about the organization. Okay, at least that's my perspective.
Cool. Yes. I would like to request a vote to,
It's just about to.
to sustain the motion.
Okay, cool. So, I don't have like a super.
I have something actually.
Yes.
To Nova, if the vote to table does go through and everything. Sorry, for one thing, just because I like to say it out loud. Rachel said if it is tabled, that she'll work with them to kind of work out the kinks.
That's awesome. No, that's fine.
But yeah, the question for you was specifically, so for next week, because Joel, will, of course, be in contact with them, if the tabling goes through, you just want them to basically speak to us again about their budget.
Yes, to have them represent and then have us go through discussion and potential voting.
Okay, got it.
Before we hold a vote, would it be possible to have a discussion period about this or no?
Would someone like to make a motion for discussion before that formal vote? Motion for it?
I'll second it, sure.
There's an objection.
Yeah,
There is an objection.
Grounds that I feel like we should really start moving on from the topic.
That's the point. They also want to move on. Like SGA as a whole, this is what the second time a motion for tabling's come up, the second week. I mean, it's kind of like, what's the point? Because each week it seems like there's new scrutiny. And I mean,
Previous question.
that's the point.
We're just going to hold a formal vote and then depending on the results of that vote, we will go forward with that.
I was gonna at least discuss my opinion, but wait, we haven't approved the discussion period yet.
The reason why is because I do believe that Elliot does have a point. We just need to kind of move on from the current situation. So if you are a voting member, and we'll be trying to keep track, even though I don't have everyone's face. If you would like to sustain the motion to table, please raise your hand. Again, this is sustaining the motion to table them to the next meeting.
favor of my motion.
Yes. So we have 3, I believe. Derek, you were also. Okay, do we have any online, Isaiah?
One so far?
Yes. Okay, cool. If you object to the motion of tabling this particular vote, please raise your hand.
There's one online, and how many?
Naeem, you also realize that you're a voter, right?
Yes, but I honestly, I don't. I'm gonna abstain from this.
3.
I think it's a tie, which means I get to break it.
Wait, isn't it 4-3? 3 in person, 1 online in favor, 2 in person, 1 online against. So 4-3.
Sorry, I miscounted.
So the motion passes.
The abstentions don't over.
No, abstentions do not affect the vote. So
Call me out. Everyone else is here. Yeah. You're a voting member, so it's half this room.
It's been like giving all those seconds.
I'm still not sure as to where to go on the. I just want to talk about it. I'm still not sure what to go on this.
Approved to table it till after spring break.
I believe
Yes, that is my motion.
To table it till after spring break just got approved.
Yeah, that's the vote. then.
So that is a vote. That is what we will do. So considering that, we're just going to be moving on to executive requests. So
You may need to refresh the slides because I added the.
me too.
Okay, yeah.
Not a refresh.
So Elio, you're up first.
Cool.
I'm gonna turn off the timer.
So, I have a few things. Logo context. Vote will take place next time. Sorry, I forgot to send the voting form to
Does
Joel.
that mean we can
but-
still send you submissions?
I am, you know what? Why not? Send me more submissions. So far, I have 6 options that I want to show off first. Joel, if you don't mind switching the slide over really quick. Joel, if you don't mind switching the slide over.
Sorry.
really quick, just like in a few seconds. These are 6 options that I am so far considering. So if you can compete with that, I don't know, maybe go ahead and do that. Please. I
Elio,
want-
can you move up? Or can you post? Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I forgot the screen was shared. Sorry, everyone.
Oh my God. I'd greatly appreciate a new logo. Thank you. But these are the 6 options that we have right now that I am presenting for you. We are not doing talent holding a gavel. Hey, that is a final decision.
That's not my question. That's not my question.
What's your question?
I thought it was nice.
So I'm noticing that in a lot of those options, have the exact same font for SGA. Is that one of the criteria?
The exact same font, you do not have to have the exact same font.
It's just, I'm noticing that in all but the bottom 2 corners.
Yeah, you do not have to have the exact same font.
Same
You could clarify.
But there are 3 of the options there do have the same exact SG.
Yeah, the top 3 in the middle bottom.
The top 3, that G is a very different G than the other G.
Slightly different. Anyways, moving on.
Really quickly, because it's on this point. Liliana, you have a question? Go ahead.
I'll join this.
Actually, they said it. They said, where do we send the logos? Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Liliana.
Yeah, my question was where to send the logos. I was waiting for the link all this time. I have 2 different logos that I made myself, but I don't know where to send them.
Email them to the VP Comms email.
Or VP engagement?
Have access to that.
OTS
You're
problem.
just gonna have to call.
Oh, yeah, OTS problems.
Just send them to vp.comms@iit.edu.
I'm typing.
Can you put it on the chat, please?
Yeah, Isaiah's doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and continue sending logos. I will promote another. I will post another promotion for this contest. I did initially take it off the website, but I'm gonna put it back on, seeing that people are still very much interested in posting their logos. Please promote it. And especially because we do have this week of spring break, just make sure to push that. The next stage of this contest, though, is our slogan. I will send out a form the Sunday after spring break. We need a new slogan because currently SGA has one of 3 things: no slogan, a really weird slogan, or a slogan that doesn't make sense, i.e. the one that was taken off the windows that is now the prison safe space. Don't ask me what the slogan was because we have 3 different. So great. And then tabling was a success. Thank you, Senator Joseph Chimoan, for doing that. These past 2 days, we got a lot of comments. We got a lot of good stuff. Nova, I see, is already taking his stack. And then that's Naeem's stack. I already took my stack. And then the other one is going to be for Jacob. So yeah, Joseph, do you want to give us a little insight onto what you did?
Yeah, I can show you guys actually. So I want to know what this is. I was in MTCC tabling on the bridge. And I got to talk to a lot of students. And I even came up with a little gimmick that I implemented today. I made this little board right here, map of the campus. And very simple, takes 2 seconds. Just pin where you go the most. Is a student. And this is where they spend the most time on campus. And honestly, the results were really shocking. So Pritzker actually gets a ton of students, apparently, based on the sample size that I got and passing this afternoon. And then even more surprising, RE has as many pins as IIT Tower. So that was a little shocking. But also what? Yeah, I know.
Really nice.
Ari has a very nice lounge.
Yeah.
But now, like, when I think about it, whenever I go into RE, it's kind of dead. Like, there's no one there. So I guess it's not too shocking.
I'm very shocked by Pritzker having more. Like, that is shocking.
Yeah, Pritzker has a lot. The scariest one, though, is the fact that there are no people here. Yeah, I guess the RTs weren't on the line.
They were competing with the library almost. Goodness.
for that.
Yeah. And then this actually was really successful because when people were coming up to put a pin, I also had the papers next to it. I'm like, oh, you go there, you know, what are some problems you have with that building, you know, or that location? And, you know, they were already at the table. So they were like, oh, we might as well write down some suggestions. So I did get some suggestions from that today. Yesterday, I did not do this. So my sample size is not as large as I would have liked it to be. But I did run out of notepad yesterday. So yesterday was also pretty successful.
Counted every single pin. Is that how many people you talked
Okay, yes. So I bought 2 packs of 100 and I ran out of a pack and I think I used like a third of another pack. Students were allowed to put more than one. So if I had to estimate, this is probably around 70 to 100 students.
Yeah. All right. Nice.
Did Tessa have a question?
Oh, no, I was gonna ask if you bought those at the bookstore.
I did buy those at the bookstore.
You got scammed.
I have that exact.
You got scammed, bruh.
I'm sorry.
He's getting reimbursed.
Oh, okay.
I have a box of those exact push pins.
Yeah, so this is some areas that need improvement and some areas that maybe we want to focus on. I mean, it goes both ways. You know, if there's a lot of pins, you want to, you know, get to students there. That's the best place to reach them. And then the places with not a lot of pins, we should try to improve so that they get more pins. So, yeah, I have more ideas. So hopefully Elio can get more tabling in the coming weeks. But yeah, I'll just leave this up here so you guys can admire it.
We have another solid week of tabling in April, and that will be our last tabling session for the semester. So please, if you want to see this happen, sign up as soon as I send that out.
Yeah, thank you to Joseph. Everyone should give him a round of applause.
It's kind of fun though. I did
It's like, I'm like too excited to not.
No, that's fair.
That's fair. That's
very, very.
We need more of these little maps. We need to make more of these. You know how many people don't know where anything is?
So yeah, basically, that was a big success. Again, the last time when me and Nova did it, it was a big success then. It's a big success now. So yeah, we're gonna do it again in April.
You have a question. That we get so many concerns.
It's our job.
It's good. We're getting feedback.
It's good and bad.
Yeah.
But like, if we're getting feedback, that means we still have a job. So
4 out of 5 of 9 things might be about the washing machines, but it's okay.
Something.
okay. So I will start budgeting for this more now. Getting actual new equipment to do tabling. So as I said, our last tabling session is in April. Please sign up for that. If you are interested, I will send that out as soon as I can get a reservation. It's a solid week, so you can spend a solid week tabling in April. It could be some people Monday, Tuesday, some people Wednesday, Thursday, some Friday, however you want to do it. But as we saw, this is big and this is very good. So thank you so much, Joseph. Otherwise, that's it from me.
Cool. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Siri.
You're welcome.
Leave it out. But
Leave it up.
Leave it up.
Yeah, let's leave it up.
I love it. I love it.
I'm in favor.
We need to make a road.
Moving on, we're going on to campus life. Nova, if you wouldn't mind.
I didn't get to get through all these, but that's fine. Okay. So I had a meeting with OCL and today. some of the big things that we talked about in OCL were suitable. It started off as one comment and then just kind of snowballed. So, okay, suitable improvements in general. The big thing that we have heard, and I'm glad to report some improvement on, is the ability to actually join student orgs on Suitable. Joseph, I'm looking at you. So I've been hammering OCL about this, and finally Suitable is like, it seems like they're actually seriously considering this. They sent out a poll to all their clients today, and it was like, which of these options would you like to see most in Suitable? And one of them was the ability to join student orgs because of us. So if there seems to be interest in other schools to have this, which at least from the discussion OCL's had, it seems like other schools are also interested in this. We might have it for next semester. It is a little bit of a bigger undertaking because they have to, create new data frames and whatnot. But I'm hoping. The top Suitable winners. Why is it ASCE? The answer is pretty simple, folks. They just put everything on Suitable and they scan them. They have a lot of kind of high point events, which really have like mastery. So one of them they think was like concrete canoe. I don't know exactly what that means, but I assume it's like a project.
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's made out of concrete. And so that was worth a lot of points, but yeah, it really is. They put exec board meetings, they put general body meetings, they put and OCL's like, no, this is how they should be using Suitable.
Can I specifically comment on what those are?
Like, are you asking me what are they?
No, like I know what the
Oh.
concrete canoe, basically they have workshop hours where students come in, then they volunteer some time to work on, literally they're passing a canoe out of concrete. And so I think it's very easy for students to rack up hours if they just go there for like an hour or two to just literally just do manual labor in Pearl Steam Hall.
I mean, that's what
But
they said.
A concern I have had was that other orgs don't really have that option to offer something like that.
Yeah.
So it is a kind of an unfair advantage.
It is a little hard. I will say, so one of the suggestions I had, and maybe you could pass this on to student org, is when we were talking about this, Rachel suggested that the time I put into working on the finance board policies could be a thing on Suitable, even though that was a thing I did by myself. So maybe that is something to consider, like doing work to create like a constitution for a student org or working to found one might constitute something on Suitable. And you can always ask OCL about what they think does and doesn't belong on Suitable, but it seems like they're pretty liberal on what they'll accept. So and when in doubt, just like put it in there. They'll probably accept it. They might if you try to make it a level 5 thing, which is like the highest point rewards, they'll knock it down. They've done it to me. Well, I didn't do level 5, but they'll probably accept it. Adoption. So this has been very big because everyone's like, well, if no one else is using Suitable, why should I? And you'd be surprised. So the 17% figure comes from the highest amount of students that were using Presence, which was the previous platform. Since then, and I think this is the most recent number, not the highest number, we have had 41% of the student body use Suitable in some form or fashion compared to 70% on Presence. So obviously this isn't like everyone, but it is clear like there is some growth, and I am pretty optimistic that as we implement more changes and I keep hearing feedback to present, we can drive those numbers up. And the more students who are using it, the more students are incentivized to use it. So let's hope to get those numbers up. And then in general with Suitable, more brainstorming to come, how to make it more incentivized to student orgs. That's something Rachel and I, we're gonna have an extended meeting and talk about how can we improve Suitable. So if you have suggestions, message me. My meeting with Dean Stetz, actually this is supposed to be the whole exec board. I'm calling you all out. No one was there except me.
I had a reason.
I don't care what your reason is.
I was there.
This says Vice President of Campus Life. So
How do we start an impeachment proceeding?
go ahead. So the gender identity problems, which PRISM has been very vocal about, and I'm glad. I did give Dean Stetz a list of how to replace those and better accommodate students. That's almost exclusively based on the suggestions I got from PRISM. And then the ARCHI printers. The two big sore problems, which is maintenance of printers and the wiping of funds at the end of the semester. Well, I'll also be bringing that up with Bruce on Friday, but Dean Setz did give her support and we'll hopefully be seeing some, I don't know, fingers crossed. Hopefully this semester will be the first semester where students aren't having their funds wiped. All right, Tessa, I know you've had your hand up.
Okay. This was
Oh, I have
way
some-
more relevant back then, but our SGA meetings unsuitable.
So I've tried a few times and you guys don't scan them. So
Where are the QR codes? I would
I've done it.
scan them.
So I've done it 4 times, I think now. And each one of them, it was like 3 people scanned, and one of them was me, and one of them was you, Tessa.
I like the suitable points.
Okay,
I won't lie, I do need to add them to the SGA, to the RHA meeting.
I'll do it. I will go through the effort. If I get 3 again, I'll be a little upset. Yeah. Joseph?
Just wanted to share a comment that I heard yesterday, that really relates to this, and I thought it, definitely is something we should, think about when it comes to suitable. When I was tabling yesterday, somebody said that, oh, they want to get more involved with campus, but they don't really know any good ways to, find student orgs. And I told them, oh, have you tried Suitable? And he said that he did, and he did not have good experience, or, it was not easy for him to find the orgs.
Yeah.
So, and I asked him, well, if Suitable was a little bit better, would you be more, I guess, encouraged to, engage in activities on campus? And he said, yeah. So, I definitely think that that's a comment that we should all, consider when thinking about Suitable.
No, I fully agree, and that's, I mean, it's not only because the university has a 4-year contract, but they do genuinely, from Rachel, just coming from me, I do genuinely feel like she is very invested in this, and she wants to make a program that students want to use, not just because they put money into this. So Rachel is very much into this. She wants to hear more voices. I want to hear more voices. Improving, I mean, in that pile, I didn't get through all of it, but a lot of the things I heard was improving social life. So no, I fully agree. I hope Suitable will become that. I don't know if it will, but it seems like Suitable is willing to work with us, at least to a decent degree. And so I'm hoping they'll hear us out.
Rachel says, true that.
True that.
No, I'm kidding. Oh, sorry.
No, I do have another point.
She did not
Jacob,
say true that, she said very true, but yeah.
Jacob, what's your point? Go ahead.
Well, first, I just want to tone over that I was also at the meeting. You may not have seen me there with Dean
Was there
Stetz.
for 5 minutes? I'll give him credit. Sorry, Jake.
Anyways, so regarding Suitable, I don't want to, I don't know if you have meetings about, just changing this, but, student orgs, if you look at I don't want to shout out SIAM, but if you look at the SIAM org, it's pretty updated. But the one thing that we can't change and students can't do is look at, per experience, it's called, I believe. I'm looking at activities. Yeah, it's experience tags, and you just can't find it. It's just the student orgs can't change what experience they're under. So if I were to try to find, all of the departmental orgs, or all of the math orgs, it just, there's no tags. The tag searching is not easy at all. So this is just something that is just, it's the easiest thing to fix, is just you have a tag associated with an org, and then it's there, it pops up.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, dang, it's been so long, Isaiah.
You
Okay.
can message me if you don't remember it. I will say on the tag thing, I'm pretty sure OCL has made it so student orgs can't change their own tags or create new ones out of caution. But I can bring that up to them to departmental orgs. I do think that's an obvious one. So I can definitely bring that up with Rachel at the next time. I've never had many complaints about the tag system, but I mean, improving it is always good no matter what. So I'll make sure to bring it up.
And then the other thing is just the discretion of students. I know it's under approval by whoever, I don't know if it's Rachel who approves the Suitable events, but whoever does is just, I don't know how, freely they are accepting them, but like you said, I forget what org it was that, had all their members winning the Suitable events, but, SIAM really could, it just depends on how you word you phrase your events on things. I think it's a little bit, it could be abused very easily by all the student orgs to just put them at the highest level possible. And then, having your student org, get just in the highest number of points, no matter what. So I think just having that system changed in some way to avoid student orgs, constantly trying to just get higher up, because then you have to if you don't get approved, you have to repeat the entire process of submitting your student org, even if you accidentally put it higher up and you didn't mean to. So just having that whole point system, under discretion by the student org leaders should change, I think.
Jacob, the point system, even though the student org leaders do suggest one, whoever is making, like, I think it's Kaylin who does it, she is free to change it. So like I put SGA, I put an exec meeting at like level 3 and they bumped it down to level 2 and I didn't have to create a new thing. So that's not, you don't have to if you like misuse it and like you put a level 5 when it should be a level 3 or whatever, they'll just correct that. That isn't something that like, they're like, oh, you have to resubmit a new thing.
Okay. Yeah, I've only ever submitted level 1s, even though they've probably been level 3s, but okay. Yeah, thanks. It's good to know.
If no one else has any other questions, I'd like to share some of the funny that I have here. There's always some.
For funny, that's good.
One. I love this one because I really get a lot from it. It says dining option. Wait, the dining option meal plan. Poetry. And this one, I really like this one. Archie students, you might want to get on this. Make the buildings closer. Hashtag move tower.
Yeah.
This one's legitimate. I'll have to look at it, but this one's funny too. Okay. Victor Cook, goose poop.
Oh dear.
This one, it just says advanced booking, and then there's an arrow pointing at nothing. But actually, most of them are very legit, and they're awesome.
Hashtag move tower.
I know. Slides right quickly.
Yeah.
To move.
Not.
Don't move. After the wrecking ball. All right. Well, yeah. Let me share my funny one. Washing machines and cases. Replace washing machines and dryers and cases. Basic laundry machine. You're all gonna like this one. 4 problems within cases. Washers, dryers. So yeah. Once again, so I can knock Nova off his high horse. I have my own meeting with Dean Stetz about my own topic tomorrow. So
True.
yeah. Anywho, we'll be meeting tomorrow regarding the housing application and gender inclusive housing. But more so, we want to make sure we're very aware of what's going on with the housing application for this next cycle. So I'm looking to get more insight about that. I'm not sure if ORL has the information from admissions regarding the incoming freshmen that helps inform as to where designated housing areas are and so on and so forth, as we found out last time. So we're going to get more information regarding the housing application and have that to present to the RHA meeting, which is going to be occurring tomorrow later in the day at 9:15 p.m. So we should have that information to bring to the meeting, and it should hopefully bring about more discussion regarding that, as well as the RHA merger that's underway. We'll also take a minute to review that as well. Lastly, I am meeting with facilities with Nova on Friday about the machines. So hopefully we can try and figure something out, because it has been exhausting regarding the machines. But Nova, who are we?
We're meeting with Bruce.
Bruce, okay.
Kevin Gallagher, and then we also meet with public safety and Cindy with the environmental health and safety.
I will be taking these virtual meetings because our case residents are very vocal. No, I understand. It is not fun not to be able to do your laundry. I definitely understand that, especially as someone who does it in very large amounts. I have the ability to do that. If I was in CASIC, I'd be screwed if I tried something like that. So
I would like to note that it's not, can't do the laundry, but it takes about 24 hours to do the laundry.
I had similar experience in MSD when our machines.
Yes,
were
real.
I very much well remember it. We had the flooding. We had I was there in the what used to be the bad washing machine dorm. Now that seems to have moved across campus. We're gonna try and figure it out. I hear you all. We're gonna do our best. And just so everyone is aware, the ORL originally did send out notice that machines would get replaced in different dorms, and CASIC was on that list. but apparently that was misinformation, or they were misinformed, and Kasich was not meant to be on that list, and we were not promised new machines for Kasich. So yeah, that's what yes.
Like that.
You all you're younger than Cunningham.
So, the specific wording was that laundry machines in all buildings except for Cunningham and Carmen would be replaced.
Correct, yeah. That is not the case. Carmen and Cunningham and Kasich, I believe, should have been the correct communication. That was miscommunicated by the ORO. They did inform me of that Kasich was not meant to be one part of that list. So once again, I will also talk to them about the washing machines, even though I've been getting the same answer. And we'll try and figure something out. I'm looking to hopefully impose more sanctions on those who are apparently breaking these machines. They didn't magically stop working, being only a year older than the ones in my building. So once again, we'll try to figure out what can be done, because apparently at some degree, I think no one can disagree, someone is not correctly using the machines and is ruining it for everyone else. Someone or some people are doing this with the machines, and that is not okay, and that does need to be dealt with appropriately, so we do need to figure that out. Because if we do get new machines, and they end up broken again in another few months. So yeah, once again, this is going to be apparently a long, complicated issue, but yeah, we will work on it. RHA meeting tomorrow though at 9:15 p.m. virtually for anyone who is a resident and would like to attend, or if you're not a resident, you can attend.
Thank you.
No problem.
So,
I am kind of cool. No, just looking.
You do that, Joe.
no,
Stay with that.
well, Isaiah.
Cool. Hey, everybody. So my main report is about executive elections. So nominations closed this Friday. There are 47 students nominated across a wide range of positions. But I would like to see those numbers go up. Like I said, you have 2 more days to nominate folks. So spread the word. I know Elio's going to make a post about it, things like that. Election day is going to be March 29th. Campaign season has started. I have emailed everybody. That is wanting to run. As soon as they fill out the form, then they can start their campaign. So you should start to see campaign posts, stuff like that go up soon. What else I say? So there will be a bylaw convention this Sunday if you're still in town. But it's just going to be kind of finishing up some stuff. The real important ones will be after spring break, because we're going to finally solidify our plans for the Senate, which is also going to be important because PSAC, or the Presidential Advisory Council, is going to get dissolved this semester into student government. So they're kind of waiting on us to finalize our format for that to happen. So it is really important that we figure that out. So like I said, that'll happen after spring break. Otherwise, yeah. Thanks for meeting.
Cool. Wait, what happened to Joel says hi? Who did that?
That's why he jumped out.
Dang it.
So now we have, I believe it's Rachel. So with campus admin.
Hey guys, okay. A couple things are coming up. There is the food depository day of service that is March 15th, so next week. I know that we will be on break, but maybe some of you will be around here. Spirit Week is the week after spring break, so please get ready for these events. We are very excited about it as well. So we are going to have pies on Monday for Pie Day. On Tuesday, we are going to have Talon Tuesday, where Talon will be on the bridge. Get your picture. The famous Talon will be there. It's great selfie moments. Wednesday, we're going to continue with Wellness Wednesdays. And we have with Go Running IIT and with Track and Field, we're going to do the Pi K 5K. So the 3.14 mile run. We're going to do that at noon on Wednesday. So if you want to get outside, hopefully I think the weather will be cleared up and nice then, unlike it was last year or the year before. So cross your fingers. We're going to do a run around campus and we have medals again. So, if you want to wear your pie medal, definitely come. Thursday, we're going to have games at lunch in the Commons. So we're going to bring all of our board games to the Commons. So you can eat and play. And then Friday, we have Spirit Day. So please wear your spirit. We will be walking around Friday. If we see you wearing your spirit, you may get, you know, an OCL prize. You know, we've got those stickers, we've got socks, we've got lanyards. And it is also late night. Please make sure, if you can, to sign your late night risk form before you attend, or else you'll have to wait in the line to do it. So we do have them online. Union Board is sending those out. So that should be coming very soon. So make sure to do that. And then last but not least, I just want to put this on your radar. We are planning in April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, to do a Walk a Mile in Her Shoes walk across campus. This event is an event that we're going to pair with the Title IX office on. And we're going to pair with them with many events, but this is going to be kind of the large event. And the idea of this event is that every single person wears a pair of heels and walks a mile to support survivors of sexual assault. So we are going to be collecting heels. So if you have an extra pair, you know somebody who has an extra pair, drop them off, and we'll have a box for them, and we can't wait.
All right. Thank you. So moving on, we have senator reports. Nova.
There's something I forgot to share. From Dean Stets and Rachel, they both brought this up to me. Regarding a lot of the concerns that have been brought to me in campus life, if you have an individual concern with a student or group of students based on like discrimination, for example, the IIT website, I think it's iit.edu/student-affairs or something pretty close to that. I can send it in the Discord right after this, or I did already in the DEI channel. Do that. There is both a general like form and then also specifically a bias/discrimination form. So if you have a concern or you know students have concerns, do that form or send that form to them. Very useful.
Thank you. Does anyone else have a report they would like to share? Seeing none, we can move on to the floor. Does anyone have anything that they would like to say? Seeing none. Yes, Isaiah?
Happy spring break. I hope your midterms went well. It was pretty stressful for a lot of people this last semester. So genuinely, kudos to you for making it this far. I do hope you have fun next week. Yeah.
Joseph.
To Rachel, I did find out what that free council situation was, so if she wants to talk after the meeting.
Email. Just shoot her an email.
I can shoot her an email.
Yes. No.
Yeah, or her at IIT.
Okay.
Also, I did just want to, I guess, give a note. There is some misinformation coming from specific trolling individuals. However, my birthday is next Monday, not any other day of the year.
People are going to hate on you.
So that's why they were yelling it was your
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any other points of concern?
Birthday.
Do we have?
I have a motion to adjourn.
I have a raised hand.
Yeah, Jacob is.
Yeah.
Okay. No, there's been confusion between the distinction between the president and the executive vice president. There's two people in the meeting right now that are here that can listen. Can you guys just like quickly give a 5-second thing on like what the difference between the two of you is?
What?
You two. What is the difference between you two?
You want me to explain between the president and the EVP?
Yes. In the Constitution.
So the president is kind of like the university structure between the president and the provost. President is technically the external face of SGA. So I meet with administrators probably a little bit more frequently than the vice presidents, like Dean Stets. I meet with OCL frequently. Then I'm also kind of just the chair of the executive board. So I manage all of you guys. Joel specifically is in charge of the Senate. So he organizes the agenda. He's the one that puts stuff on the docket. He's in charge of senators. Yeah.
Yep. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Do we have any objections?
Oh, God.
All right, cool. We're done. Thank you for being here.
Happy break.